Hi, everybody. Welcome to yet another live with Mom's Presso. Today, we're going to be discussing a very pertinent cause of worry among parents of young kids. That is, do I need to enroll my child in a preschool? Is it okay to skip it and teach some basics to my child at home and wait for things to come back to normal? With this pandemic ongoing, my child has missed 1 year of schooling already. Is it okay for them to skip another? Parents today have next to no time on their hands but a whole bundle of questions that they seek answers to when it comes to their toddler's growth and development. In pre COVID days, sending kids to a secure, hygienic, and trusted play school is an advantage in more ways than one. Right now, with parents juggling work, chores, health, and kids full time from home, what I hear from most parents, and it's true for myself too, that it is indeed a struggle to find time to sit and attend classes with children. And for parents of a younger child, say a 2 to 3 year old toddler, they believe that it is okay to continue learning at home in a passive way. And we really want to wait for schools to open up. The argument is, would it really mean that my kid is behind his peers? He knows his alphabets, his shapes, etc. It's really worrisome for parents to manage school with their kids, and we want our children to be ready and we want things to be safe, and formal schooling is kind of put on hold. So joining us today to give us some insights on the importance of early learning education and what needs to be done is renowned psychologist, educator, and founder of Happiness is Love, Jyotika Sandeep Bedi. Jyotika, welcome to this live session. We are so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to connect with you, Sabia, and the whole Mom's Presso team. You guys are doing great work. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, Jyotika. It's, speaking to you and talking about things that are really, really important right now is, so reassuring in a way that, we parents have someone to talk to and, kind of speak about all these worries that we have around schooling and our children missing out on school. Tell me, Jyotika, what do you think about this whole situation, kids being homeschooled in a way, parents just covering the basics. And with the second wave of COVID and the lockdown that has followed almost across the country, is it really okay to wait another year?
What a brilliant question. Thank you for that question. I want to first reassure all the parents. I'm with you. I'm a mother of three, so I get it. Times are tough, times are rough, times are challenging for all of us. However, what is our choice? Our choice really is to build ourselves up, to learn new skills, and help our children in this situation. And it cannot happen till we help ourselves first. So let me just underscore one thing, Sabia. It's so important for parents out there to understand the importance of holistic learning, especially in the early years. Now, ये important ही नहीं है, ये critical है, because this is knowledge that everybody has, but I want to restate this that 90% of a child's brain develops before the age of 6. So a large part of the child's growth happens between 2 to 3 years. This is the time where they need to be a part of an interactive and creative environment. This is the time where synapses in the brain, the neural connections in the brain are formed. So it's very, very important for parents who have chote bacche at home. And I understand we have 2 to 3 years old. It's hard to keep them home. It's hard to keep them creatively engaged. Last year, we all thought, okay, 1 year, let's keep them home. No problem. We will homeschool them. However, I want to let the parents know that now, because there is so much uncertainty, Sabia, we don't really know what the future holds, whether our children will see the light of day this year or next year. So it's very, very important for parents to be educated on the importance of early education, because this really lays the foundation for children's future growth and their development. So I want to just let all the parents know that please pause, please take a deep breath. 1 year has been missed. However, we can gain this opportunity to educate ourselves and become more aware.
Agree with that, Jyotika. I mean, like you said, the first year we were like, okay, let's sail, the rough waters, and we are all in this together. There's nothing that we can do. We'll do this. But then with the second year, a lot of parents are kind of, feeling that they're neck deep in, really, really turbulent waters. Jyotika, my next question to you would be, that is it okay to try and emulate, similar lessons at home? With parents trying to make time, and with the help of, say, books, or having learning boxes delivered at home. And why is there so much insistence on enrolling our kids to a preschool?
Okay, again, a wonderful question. Now, I want to help the parents understand one thing. Today, what is the reality? Home is work, work is home is also school. So, for us parents, just imagine the burden that we all are bearing. Sabia, you included, me, and everybody who's seeing this live today. We have home chores to do. We have work from home to do. Even if you're not a working parent, there is so much happening at home. Now we are also taking on the burden of teaching our children. And kudos to those parents who have the patience and the extra time to replace that, to be the teachers at home. But I want to emphasize that it is extremely important for parents to create that learning environment, that loving environment at home that plays a role in encouraging a child's learning and growth. And this can happen only in a structured way, in a method which is scientific, which is research based. So, again, reputed schools, they do research for years to make sure that they build curriculums and structures to deliver the right milestones at the right age to children, especially preschoolers. Because, again, look at the world around us. Careers that are prevalent today, I was reading this morning, next 5 years will be redundant. So, as parents, we have to be updated. Otherwise, we'll become outdated. So, can we take on the role even as teachers at home? Believe me, with 3 kids at home, my greatest blessing is that online school has started because we are blessed with technology and the children have that creative outlet and to be engaged. And I'm grateful to the teachers because their role, again, as parents, I am my child's teacher, I am my child's first role model. However, can I really take on that burden completely on myself is a question that I want parents to ask, and to understand that if scientific curriculums are built, they are built with a purpose. So, again, parents, I want you to understand that it is really our prime responsibility to create that learning environment at home. I don't know how well equipped I'm an educator, but yes, I struggle too. I struggle with my 3 children because I realize that it's not possible for me to take care of home, to take care of my work, and then to take on the teacher's role. So, again, parents, please understand that early education is not just important, it is critical for your child's overall growth and development, and it is our prime responsibility to facilitate that learning and growth.
True, agree. I have a child at home, and obviously juggling work and home. And there are times, when my child's coming up to me with a question that is probably from his school book, and I'm not even probably listening. I will just give him a random answer, and there are times when I miss out on probably submitting a lesson, and with them wanting to take up careers that will be very different from what we took up when we were growing up. Like, there are so many times my child wants to be a DJ, and he wants to be a YouTuber, and the perfection with which he'll talk in front of the camera and give instructions. I think we hear a lot about holistic development and overall development of children. Tell me, how relevant is it, or where does it fit in the life of a 2.5-year-old?
Again, a lovely question. Asabi, again, this is the time where children need to feel whole. What that means is that we need to nurture their mind, their body, and their soul. So we have to, as parents, really cater to that growth and that development. This involves a lot of things. Let me simplify it for you. It involves everything from gross and fine motor skills to social skills. And as parent, it's really too much to take on. So that's why we need to collaborate and work in alliance with schools so that they can facilitate that part of the growth and learning in the child. So your motor and physical skills are what? Motor skills are just something that we all do without thinking. But cognition and thinking skills, these are core skills for our brain. How we think, read, learn, remember, pay attention. These skills again come from the school support. And of course, we cannot not undermine, we have to underscore the importance of social skills. Skills which we need to communicate and interact with each other. And believe me, math and science is important, but I'm a big believer that it is not sufficient for leading a happy and successful life. We need life skills, we need people skills, relationship skills, and self management skills, which only a school environment can foster. And today, I'm the parent, I'm the counselor, I'm the doctor, I'm the teacher, I'm everything at home. So again, from an emotional development point of view, it is very, very important for our children to be in a structured environment that facilitates learning, that helps them develop skills that will make them future ready.
With that, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay, so I completely agree with that. And when we're choosing an environment that lets our child learn all these skills, they may sound too much for a small child to kind of learn and understand. But what can a school do to inculcate all of this in their curriculum? How do you pick a good preschool that imbibes all of this in their learning structure without making it overwhelming and too much for a little child kind of take in?
Correct. So again, I want to cite my personal example from my experience. So there was one family that they have a 2.5-year-old at home, and they were very excited to make the child write the child's name. Now, I want parents to understand that I know you're coming from a good place of caring and loving, and you want to really support your child's learning and growth. However, not all children are developmentally ready to write at that age. So when I go back to understanding preschool's curriculum, I need to understand that a lot of thought, a lot of research goes in molding these curriculums. And we need to understand that every stage a child has different learning needs. So a lot of playful interaction activities are curated to fulfill a child's learning needs. And that's where preschool supports this active learning, and it promotes a lot of participation, group interaction, peer-to-peer learning, creative play, and all this is again, backed by science and research. And there are beautiful apps also available. I know that Eurokids also has a beautiful Eurokids has a beautiful app called Home Buddy, which is facilitating a lot of growth and learning. And these programs actually challenge a child's brain at the right moment and in the right quantity. So these kinds of stimulation and encouragements are only provided by preschools that are facilitating that learning. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yes. So, thank you for, detailing it out so well, Jyotika. I think all of this is so relevant for our kids these days, whether it's their holistic development, whether, it's tapping on their mental, emotional health, and whether it's trying to, juggle everything together. I think as parents, what we need more is like a support system that helps us, kind of get through this whole situation. And even for older kids, one of the biggest challenges that I think all of us parents face is trying to juggle our time between work from home, work for home, our kids education, everything, and with all this restriction, and the fact that the teaching is now online, everything is digital, which makes a parent's involvement even more imperative, because for younger kids, you have to have a guardian or a parent around them, and when it comes to a preschool and early education, you need someone to handhold the child. So what would you suggest in a situation like this, Jyotika?
Right. So I have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I really feel for those parents who have very, very chote bache, because again, their attention span is so small, it's so little, it's very challenging for the parents. So I feel for the parents, I can relate as a parent. It's tough and it's rough. That's why we need the support. That's why we need to make sure that we help ourselves. The greatest gift we can give ourselves is to again enroll our children in programs which are helping the child's growth, overall learning and development, because they know how to grab the child's attention. They know how to creatively engage the child, and the teachers of preschools are actually the cornerstone for quality education because they have the training. Now, I don't know if I were a parent of a toddler at this point of time, how I would have kind of handled this, because it is tough. It's very, very difficult. And if some schools are offering us this flexibility of giving workbooks, recorded classes, and teachers being available to help, I think it is a help that must be sought.
I definitely think that's a blessing in disguise, and for parents of younger kids, when you have so much material available, and when you have that kind of support that can, provide positive, we parents worry so much about screen time, but I am a believer that if it's positive screen time and if it contributes to your child's growth and learning, I think, then it's good, because then you can always manage the other screen time, and you can, indulge them in different activities. Like, there's so much that you can do at home with them with your basic course. So Jyotika, we have some questions from our viewers. I'm going to, let you know about them one by one. Our first question, is from Anusha, and she says that her kid is 3 years old, and should she enroll her in online classes, and what is the right time to do so?
So thank you for this lovely question. Your time is now. Now is the right time. Last year was a missed opportunity, but for parents who are a part of our life today, let's not lose another opportunity. This is a golden chance. And like I said, this is a gift that you are giving yourself and your child. So please don't overanalyze this. Don't overthink it. हम सबको लगता है हम घर पे ABCD 1 2 3 को बच्चों को सिखा सकते हैं, but believe me, like I said, the first 6 years of a child's growth and development is the most crucial. It's the most important. They need to be in an environment that is encouraging, that stimulates that growth. And as a parent, this is our prime responsibility.
Totally, I totally believe that, Jyotika. I think it's wonderful, and I have a child who's older, but I sometimes think that if I had that kind of access to what parents have now, I think
Yes.
teaching them and their learning would have been a lot more easier. And I'm so glad that we have it now, because we as kids, I think we just mugged up our books and made notes, and I don't even think we had something like I don't even think we had a concept of gross motor skills, or your basic development skills or emotional skills. We were just put in a classroom, and
Correct.
that's how we kind of learn. But I think now all these facilities are absolutely amazing.
Yes, Abhi,
So,
so well said. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say you're so right. It's such a blessing when I see how my children learn, and there is joy in learning. There is fun in learning. I mean, I think there's no learning if there's no fun. And I'm grateful to our school. My children go to Shivnadar school. I'm so grateful because children are excited to even do online classes. Because again, it's really on the teachers, how they engage with every child, how they facilitate that learning process. They encourage the children. They are the greatest cheerleaders. So believe me, it is one of the best things that's happened in today's times. And it's really a blessing.
absolutely, absolutely. So Pooja wants to know that how should she assist, her child while she attends her classes online. And I think it's not just Pooja who wants to know this, Jyotika. I think even I want to know, because the moment my child is sitting for classes, I have some other work to do, and there are too many things happening at the same time. So I think, what's the best way to kind of assist our children when they are sitting for their online classes?
Sabi, how old is your child?
My child is 7, so though he's very self-dependent, and he can operate the computer and switch it on and do all of that, but like most of us are working from home right now, so while our child's attending classes, we have 10 other things going on. So what's the best way to kind of help them when they do their classes?
Right. So again, it's age appropriate for a 7-year-old. This is the best time to be more self-independent. And as a parent, you have to kind of set that limit that right now, this is your class time, and you need to sit and you need to focus and pay attention. Mama will not be available for the next few minutes or whatever time that you're away, so that children also learn. This is such a beautiful opportunity for children and parents both to learn to be more patient, to be more respectful of other people's boundaries. But yes, if your child is little, you will get that support from the school and the teachers. Even the school understands that 2.5-year-old is not going to sit on the screen and after 15 minutes not running around and fidgeting. So the parents' involvement will be there, but again, it will be in partnership with the school and the teachers. So again, make sure that you use this time to not be overly involved in your child's online classes, because I know some mothers, some parents are driving themselves crazy by being too involved. That also is not healthy. So make sure you find that balance depending on the age of the child.
True. So yes, when we say that there are parents who are over involved, and while my son's attending his classes and the teacher's asking something, so I kind of hear parents pushing their kids to answer, and we can hear them answering for them. So yes, older kids, we can manage all of this with them and give them instructions and teach them how to follow these instructions. But with preschoolers, it tends to get a little more challenging. Like you said, that they have a very short attention span, and they'll probably run around 10 times while the class is happening. So
Right.
I think that's where parents need.
Correct. That's why we work in collaboration with the school and the teachers, where tasks are given which are fun and engaging. So from coloring to playing dough to again playing with water. So they're given things which are age appropriate, which are fun, which will grab the attention of the child, and the parents has to let the child be at that moment and completely back off and not be overly involved.
So we also have, another parent asking us, Manjari asking us that, the child is usually cranky when they wake up in the morning. What do you do in a situation like this? And I think it's more with younger kids, because every child has a different sleeping pattern, and, every child is different. And there are children who are obviously cranky when they wake up. So in that case, getting them to, sit for an online class, or, how do you build up the whole atmosphere where they are at ease and they enjoy their classes?
Right. So I'll tell you what psychology says and what science says, and preschools have researched this, that setting a healthy routine and timetable is non-negotiable. We have to make sure that as parents, we set consistent timings for our children to sleep, to wake up, and again, give them that 1 hour before we just wake them up and just make them do an online class, so that you get that 1 hour with your child, one-on-one attention, focused on just being with your child, making the child feel good about himself or herself, engaging meaningfully with the child, and then letting the child know that now is the time for school, or now is the time for some structured activity. So this discipline we have to bring, and believe me, the earlier we do this, better it is, because by the time your child is a teenager, believe me, those turbulent years will be difficult to manage if you don't set a healthy routine and timetable now. And I know that everything is tossed because of the crisis and the fact that we are locked down, but this is no excuse for us to not set healthy routines and make sure that we stick with those routines. So definitely a preschooler would need minimum 10 to 12 hours of sleep. So let's work backwards. If you have classes that start around 9 a.m., just saying hypothetically, make sure that your child is in bed between 8 and 9 p.m.
That sounds perfect. I think that's the best way to kind of help children develop a routine that they carry on for the rest of their lives. Something as simple and definitely extremely important as a sleep routine, a waking up routine, helps them develop routines when they grow older. Also, whether it's their personal life or whether it's their social life, I think it kind of balances out everything. When we're talking about social, I think all of us are have a huge deficit on being social, given the pandemic, and especially when it comes to little children. I think they have literally no social life. I don't even think I can call it social life. They have nowhere to go. So would putting them in an online preschool a good way to kind of get them to develop their social skills? What can we do in this case, Jyotika?
Yes. So again, as parents, I can't be a friend to my child, right? I need to make sure that my child is also engaging with his or her peers. So this preschool opportunity is again an opportunity for the children to learn to engage and interact with their peers, learn skills like communication, confidence, patience, listening to others. These are very, very important life skills. And this again will be facilitated best in a school environment. So I know that right now some of us don't really get the value of signing up our children for preschool, but believe me, this is something that is a must do, because this kind of an environment is hard to create at home.
Agreed. So, Jaswinder, I hope that answers your question. Jaswinder also wants to know that, there are a lot of questions, that arise on screen time. Everybody's talking about screen time and how, it has increased twofolds over the last 2 years. What can we do? So like I spoke earlier about positive screen time. What can we do to kind of, balance it out? And, what are your thoughts on this whole scenario of the screen time increasing for
Right.
children?
Right. So it's increased for parents and for children. For all of us, we're all guilty of the same, including me. So again, the healthy way to deal with this is, of course, there has to be a limit on screen time. This is again non-negotiable, and I cannot expect my children to model this if I am not practicing it. So again, parenting is about leading with our own example, because children don't follow our advice. They only follow our example. So if this is something that is important to me, I have to make sure that I unplug from my devices at least 2 hours before I go to bed. Make sure that you set those limits for yourself first. Only then can you enforce it with your children. That's step one. Step two is make sure that even if there is screen time, it's fun screening time together. So what you can do is you can do a lot of co-learning. So watching educational videos. This is what I do with my children. So yes, of course, now children can't go out. There's not much to do outside. But even if they are using their devices, make sure that it's co-viewing. You're viewing something together, a documentary together, maybe watching a movie which is inspirational, or a YouTube video where you are learning a new skill along with your child. So again, make sure that there is a limit to the screen time, but whatever viewing is happening is quality content.
I totally agree, and I think getting your kids to co-watch something together is also a great way to kind of bond with them, talk to them, understand what they think, how they feel. So I think yes, these are some really good inputs, and how we can kind of balance their screen time. Meenal wants to know that are there any hobbies or skills that younger kids should develop? While they are young, while they are about 2, 3, 4 year old.
Yes, this is the best time to teach them singing and dancing and just reading. I mean, I think reading is such an important habit, and this is the best time to inculcate that. And again, it starts with you as a parent. Grab a book, make sure that you sit with your child, hand a book to the child which is age appropriate. You just have to read your book. Make the child sit and read along with you, and then you discuss what the child has understood, or if the child is finding difficult to read, you read to the child. But make sure that this is a habit or a ritual that you follow with your children before going to bed or any time during the day. And of course, playtime. Let the children play with dough. Let the children, again, chote bache, they need to experience things. So let them play with water, colors, just give them markers and paper and let them just go explore, because there is an artist in every child. So a lot of creative things can be done. Again, like I said, this is the time to engage your children creatively, but you need support. As parents, we need the help of schools and teachers who will do it in a more structured manner.
So I think, this goes out to all as parents that, rather trying to balance everything in our two hands and, trying to be the master of everything, where you end up, being a master of nothing, like jack of all trades and master of none. So I think we should not do that. We should, like literally grab the opportunity that the schools are providing us to, teach our kids the basics that they need to know, and take in all the help that is given to us. Jyotika, one challenge I think that we see across all ages is that children tend to get distracted very easily while they're sitting through their online classes. Is there like some magic trick to make them sit through the classes or have them less distracted?
So again, there is no magic wand. I wish I had it too for my children. It gets, you get mental fatigue just looking at the screen all the time. I mean, you experience it, I experience it. So again, compulsory breaks. That's a must. In fact, this is a practice that I follow. And in fact, our school also follows that after about 30 to 40 minutes, we are encouraged to get up, get a glass of water, go and just walk for about 5 minutes, listen to your favorite song, because this is a reality today. Now, this has become our lives, that we're always on the screen. So the best way to do this is to make sure that you take compulsory breaks. We had the 2020 rule last time. I'm still following it, that after 20 to 30 minutes, just look away from the screen, look 20 feet away from you. It'll give your mind rest. In fact, there's a brain coach by the name of Jim Quick, and he says exactly the same, that our minds are so overworked, we are so overwhelmed, that we need to start to just get out of our heads. And by taking breaks, it only helps you rewire yourself, and it helps you rewire your brain.
Well, that indeed, is it definitely is as good as a magic trick. It's not a magic wand, Sapna. So we really don't have a magic wand to keep our kids seated in one place, or they're not getting distracted. But I think a good number of breaks is what will help them get through their classes. Jyotika, I have sort of overcome a challenge with my child. I don't say I've overcome it fully, but our kids somehow don't like writing. Not all kids like writing. So getting them to write or improve their handwriting always, is a challenge. Like when it comes to writing, the way we started it with our son was to, get him to write about his favorite football club, his favorite Avenger. We asked him questions about himself, and we taught him to do one word answers first, then sentences. But I think across parents do feel that getting children to write, or to help them improve their handwriting skills, it is a tough task. What do you think we should do?
Sabia, such a beautiful question, and I was also kind of thinking about it, and I honestly don't really have the answer. But I'll tell you one thing: with the way the world is changing so fast, I think typing is what children are going to need more than writing. So I mean, I hear you. There is so much joy in just writing, and beautiful handwritings are appreciated. I'm with you. I get that. But again, it is, if you just think about it, with the way the world is headed, and now we have to be future ready, I would actually encourage parents to help their children type more than write. But again, going back to your question, I don't know how you do it, but yes, with my children, it is a struggle, because not every child is interested in creative writing. I do understand that it's very, very important, and it's a part of the learning process, but not every child is interested. So then as parents, we have to be cognizant that, okay, does my child really have the interest and the aptitude to be a creative writer? And as parents, what is our job? Our job is to support and encourage. So if you see that interest in your child, then please hone it, please encourage it. But if you don't, then my suggestion would be, don't push it.
I totally agree. So, like you said, that yes, we have to be future ready. I think, in fact, I was talking to a friend about this, just a few days ago, and that's what even she said, that we are living in such a tech savvy world that in a few years probably writing is going to be a thing of the past, and may not be so important. But yes, when it comes to writing, I think the best way to do it with kids is through fun games, and not really pressurize them. Try and understand what they like, and go easy on them. I think, Jyotika, thank you so much for all these fabulous answers, for all your guidance and your knowledge. And, as much as I would want to hang on to you and ask you a lot more questions, I think, we'll be winding this up. We've had quite a lot of questions come in from the parents, and you've basically covered everything. The anxiety level of parents probably is going to go a little lesser, and, not really hit the peak that it usually does while they're doing online classes. Jyotika, what would be your last few words to us and all our viewers?
Sure. Sabia, first of all, thank you so much. Such a pleasure working with you. And it's really been wonderful. We worked as a seamless team, and from a parent to a parent, I completely understand. We are all feeling anxious, we're all feeling swamped and stressed. But parents, this is the time for us to remind ourselves of the good in our lives, to be grateful for all the blessings that we have, to stay optimistic, because all को choice ही नहीं है, right? This is now the time for us to kind of demonstrate and model to our children that in the middle of crisis also, in the middle of the worst crisis of our lives, we were able to build ourselves, to build each other, build our communities, and help each other. So, what you all are doing at Mom's Presso is really helping each parent build himself or herself up. And this is the greatest gift we can give ourselves. So, keep up the good work, parents. Please focus on the good. Make sure that you spend quality time with your children and keep smiling so that this too shall pass and together we shall win.
Thank you so much, Jyotika. So now this is like a little question that's come to me from the house. Okay, so I have small nieces and nephews, and they want to know that would online schooling work? When it comes to a preschool, and is it really important? Is it really the need of the hour? Given that we've already done away with 1 year, and now we're into the second year of this whole fiasco. So is it really important? Is preschooling really important?
3 words. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Jyotika. I think that does it for all of us. So, everybody, for a right start that gives your child a really flying start and a wonderful start, and, for their lifelong holistic growth and development, you need to enroll your child with an expert in an early school, and do that today. Like Jyotika said, yes, it is very important. And, Eurokids, with their 20 years of proven legacy, has bought immense innovation to learning and engagement of a preschool, and they've bought this to your homes with their Home Buddy app. Okay, the link for the Home Buddy app is in the description. Let's not make another important year slip away from our hand and become an year of missed opportunities. Let's ensure that your child completes their preschool education and develops all the life skills that Jyotika spoken about. And, they have an uninterrupted year of learning, fun. You have some peace of mind, and you have more quality time with your child. So yes, that's about it. I think, Jyotika, thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure speaking to you and having all these questions answered.
Same, likewise. And keep smiling and lots of love to your children. You have one or
Thank you.
two?
I have one. One's more than enough.
I'll get you.
I am amazed at how you're managing three. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Keep smiling, and thank you for all the wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You take care. Bye.
Bye.